Everyone, and welcome to another session of PairOfSocks Lost here on Hero Club Live. We are Hero Club, and this is not the main thing we do on Hero Club. Oh, no. The main thing we do is our podcast, where we take our TTRPG sessions that we record live around the table and edit them down painstakingly, I might add, with sound effects and music into these tight, taut little audio anthologies of all different genres. You can start wherever you want, even on the sequel seasons. Then the first one is just a prequel. Oops, look what we did. We made a prequel. So start wherever you want. We can go with, you can do noir, or western, or animal pirates of different varieties, or space, or slasher flicks, or stoner flicks, or Tarantino send-ups, or adventure, fun adventure, Indiana Jones-esque adventure series. Or we have Christmases, two kinds of Christmases. We have so many more. If you want to go correct me, please listen to every single one of them and get back to me. But here on Hero Club Live, we just play some Dungeons and Dragons with friends. I will tell you more about who I am and what this whole campaign is in a moment, but first let's talk with our players, shall we? Let's start with Jasmine. Jasmine, tell us who you are, who you're playing, and anything else you want to say. And yeah, and how. Let's go on over to John. John, tell us who you are, who you're playing, and anything else you want to say.
Madison, I play Tone Zuzuru, a level 9 wizard chef. And I'm a little tired today, but I'm gonna get jazzed in just a minute. And the sign language for today is dream, which is if you take your finger and go like this, it's like a idea sort of like leaving your head. That's dream.
Dream. I am also so sorry, gang, that I was muted for I don't know how long, but maybe we were muted for a little bit, who knows. They get the gist. I hate myself. Let's move on over. All that it means is
my thing.
Yeah, all that it means is that they didn't hear Jasmine, probably, or me doing my whole spiel at the top, which is such a bummer because I speak for so long and it would potentially in silence. We can only hear Dylan for a bit. Great. So yeah, no, Jasmine, reintroduce yourself. Who the hell are you and who you're playing?
Oh, hello. I'm Jasmine. I play Zara. She's a doll who is also a rogue fighter and warlock.
Wonderful,
And yeah.
Thank you. Right. Sometimes I forget my mic is going straight into the feed. Yours are on a different thing, so I think
This is what I love about the Twitch stream. Anything can happen.
Yeah, anything can happen, like me getting a notification that John's playing a game on Steam right now. How is that happening, John?
Listen, that is not me. My girlfriend also has access to my Steam.
Okay,
that is not me.
Sure, man.
Do you want to have a talk with her about that?
No.
Anything can happen, right? Let's go on over to Hannah. Hannah, tell us who you are, who you're playing, and anything else you want to say.
Hello, I'm Marabella Graveneye. I play Fagerbaki, a level...
You play what?
Exactly. I am a level 9 cleric of the Grave Domain, baby. Put him in the ground, wrap it around, twist it, turn it, pull your thing down, flip it, and reverse it. My fun fact today is that the inventor of Pringles was buried in a Pringles can. A giant Pringles can coffin.
Oh, I assume they burned his body.
Why would they make it so much harder for themselves? Why not just cremate and put it into a Pringles can?
He wanted to be buried.
Nope, he wanted to be buried. He didn't want to be burned.
I hate that.
Imagine the stock of Pringles. I bet it went up.
It's not your, obviously that's not your fault, Hannah. I hate learning that. I hate that he didn't just put himself into an actual Pringles can. And what an absolute buffoon. What a wild person.
Save money on the funeral.
If you're trying to use up any real estate by getting buried and you're not just getting stripped for parts and burnt, you're a selfish person.
Marty,
what,
how
is
about
that
you,
like a weird thing to say?
Marty, how about
No, you can also like bury yourself
It's a
in a
normal thing to
mushroom
say.
pod that like decomposes you and turns you into a tree.
That works too.
right? Isn't that
Yeah,
nice?
I like that
Give
one.
back is
except
what I'm
for
saying.
I like that one, except for the art of it, where it looks like you're just like a little baby in a womb underneath a tree that's sprouting. Have you seen those?
It feels very Scavenger's Reign.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally a perfect place to
Great
put
show.
The ashes of your dead
have people
loved
in the
ones.
chat watch that show? That's a great show.
Let's just talk about Scavenger's Reign for the next 20 minutes. It's great.
Let's do it for the next 3 hours. We
Yes,
can do this.
KJ, I agree. It does also make me think of giant Pringles, which, yes, they would taste wrong, because Pringles, if you stop mid-Pringle, you realize that they taste wrong, which is why you just have to keep eating them until that you're done.
You could use giant Pringles as shingles for a house, for a roof.
Oh, no, we've gone there. Okay.
They would melt in the rain, you imbecile.
Or would they form
Wow.
a paste so thick and impenetrable
It would
that it ends up
rehydrate-
becoming completely waterproof?
It would rehydrate
That it ends up
potato.
becoming completely impossible to clean off your floor when it drips onto your floor.
Marty, tell us who you are, who you're playing, anything else you want to say?
I am Marty Abbey Schneider, and I don't really know who I am. It's a question I ask myself every day. I play Golzog Intestine Scarf, and he's an orc monk, newly minted level 9
Yes,
orc
indeed.
monk. And he found out some kind of not upsetting information last time, but definitely some big news last time. We'll see what happens.
Yes, indeed. Sorry. Hale's just talking about Hannah making a gingerbread house with Pringles, and I really enjoy that
Sweet and salty.
image.
Did you watch that special, Hannah?
Which one?
What special?
Sweet and salty.
Oh.
Oh, I
No.
thought you were quoting it. I'll text you about it.
No, she was just saying
Okay.
a thing that's very normal to say.
Yeah.
Like Pringles and gingerbread, sweet and salty.
Like sweet and salty. And
Sweet and
gang,
salty.
I am your dungeon master for this evening, Dylan McCullum, and guess what? It's my birthday. Uh-oh.
Yay! Ho, 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 ho.
And I wanted to do this on my birthday with you all and with these people. They leveled up. I know that it was a big joke at the last session where they kept asking me to level up. I'll say this right now to keep my pride. That's not why they leveled up. I was gonna level them up at the end, and I just forgot to do it.
Sure.
I'd just like to remind you,
I just
Dylan,
love-
that I was in no rush. I was happy to, whatever you saw fit was good for leveling up.
I was in a rush because I was actually a little worried about how things have been going combat-wise. We need to...
I also just
You guys have been
loved how you
fine.
texted it to us like an hour after the stream, like, oh, by the way, you're level 9 now. You're like, oh, okay, great.
Because again, it wasn't about you. I planned it. I just forgot in the moment.
It was the birthday gift to us from you on your birthday.
Yeah, of course. Anyway, this is PairOfSocks Lost. It is a 5e... It is a D&D adventure based off of the 5e adventure book Wild Beyond the Witchlight. I think you all get it by now that, no, it's not. You can all read the book and you'll be fine. You could... Anyone watching could read the book and go, wow, how the fuck did he get here from there? And you'll be like, Dylan, are you okay? And I'll be like, no, I haven't been for the entire time we've been doing this whole series. I'm glad you finally realized it. But anyway, I wear my inspiration on my sleeve. We got some Wizard of Oz, Narnia, Alice in Wonderland. We got Peter Pan. We got all of those. Basically, if a kid isekai'd into a world but not isekai, that's what we got here. And I just made my friends become the main characters of this fan fiction, and I'm having a good time. And yeah.
Wait, is Gloryhoof inspired by Aslan because they're both like really hot?
Yeah, I made the Aslan of this world an inconsequential side character. That is also a centaur.
Hey, oh wait, no, Proudmane.
I mean, no.
I think Proudmane might be the cowardly little...
Oh, the Cowardly Lion, that's right. Because we've met Trademark already.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Where's Aslan?
I mean, I'll say this: there's been only like one reference to Narnia,
And it was
like,
Gloryhoof as Aslan.
Yeah, and it was Gloryhoof as Aslan.
And it was Gloryhoof as
No,
Aslan.
it was like
Yeah, you're right.
it was literally an offhand thing that the Queen of Glass said, which I'm sure you all
He
were
said,
like,
I put it
sure.
in the closet and it never came back out.
Anyway,
That makes more sense now.
yeah. When I said that, you all went, huh? Yeah. Okay, let's get into the recap, shall we? Feeling weird today. Oh, god damn it. Gang, I've turned 30 and I'm bad at tech now. Uh-oh.
I was just about to say, today's the big 3-0, right?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Wow!
Catch up to
Oh my
me,
gosh.
Bill. You should have always been bad at tech.
Last we left off, our party had found themselves face to face with an old enemy, another bad father, the White Rabbit, father of Agadon Longscarf, and hand to the Queen of Glass, so it would seem, who they learned a long time ago had been playing both sides of the war, which now they know to be. He was really playing one side of the war, always for the Queen of Glass, to perpetuate this forever cycle of warring factions. He arrived as a threat, as a warning, as an enforcer of some kind, making good on the threat that the Queen of Glass made to them, that their lives would get harder from this point forward. In a very weird, time-bending battle, it was up to, at the end, Zara, breaking his pocket watch and putting the entire world into a time stop that finally did the deed. Of course, there was some very important help with a very big Dispel magic from one Marabella, Grave and I, taking a 9th level spell off of the White. As the White lay captured and defeated, a man came in and shot him with a gun. A man that you learned was John Darling, brother of Michael Darling, who they met long ago with the other members of the Lost Children. He explained to them that he was sorry about the truly bad things that he had done to the party, and that there was a lot of reasons why that happened, that he wasn't quite himself, and proposed an alliance. Also mentioning that one of the things that is a part of his plan is replacing the Queen of Glass with another monarch. And that the new monarch, for some reason, is slated to be Golzog and Testenscarf. And that is where we left off. Back in the City Hall chambers, most of the people have been left out with their memories wiped. Some of them were taken by Tamarel and do not have their memories wiped. Who knows how that is going to play out, having some people who know what happened here. The White is still cowering, tied up, not yet killed or dealt with in any way, but still basically inert. You have the ring that he was wearing, and also a bottle of liquid courage that was upon him. And Michael and John Darling here, with like also there's kind of like flanking them other members of the Darling family, like the pillow fort workers, it seems, like all those people in like those gowns and nightcaps. And a thicket, a little satyr boy who's been trying his best to impress Zara for his entire life, and in a great thing that's happening with my dice, he can't roll above a 10 ever. So, lovely.
I'm actually impressed he made it this far.
What do you mean by he can't roll above a 10 ever? Like on purpose you have a thing in place?
No. I would never do that on purpose. I would love for him to roll above a 10. He just never has. He just really can't. But this is where we find ourselves back again. Michael Darling, the young boy, sitting next to his significantly older brother, seeming like that there's been some kind of time, dilation of one of them still a child, one of them looks like a man in his, 40s. And Michael has just said, Golzog, you will be a monarch. What would you like to do?
What do you mean? But I haven't, killed another monarch and usurped his throne. That's what happens in the Broken Spine Canyon. Usually, a chief will get old and weak, or sometimes just weak before he gets old, or get killed in battle. But if he doesn't get killed in battle, a challenger will appear, and then he'll challenge the king and they'll duel and the winner will take the throne. I haven't done any of that. I've never won a duel in my life. I haven't challenged a duel in my life.
Michael just kind of looks at you and goes, well, we just think that it would be, of the people still here, you have the best chance to do so.
To win a duel?
John looks at you and goes, well, yes, I have significant research done about all of you, obviously. I'm sorry to say that it was research for, the opposition to learn my opponents, but now we're allies. The thing is, though, monarchs in this world are very odd. It speaks more of potential rather than actuality. Anyone who was marked by the ability to be a monarch, that is the thing that is different. Case in point, and John kind of like rubs his temple, and you see a very familiar kind of floating crown appear above his head.
Okay.
I myself have been marked as a monarch a long time ago. The truth of it is, Golzog, is that we do believe that you are one, but there is something blocking you from being able to accept that.
Oh, this might have to do with other Golzog.
Sorry?
There's like another version of me that I talk to in my dreams. He lives in my head, and like we aren't. Sometimes when we like get on the same what's that thing that you guys have in the middle of your books? Page. When we get on the same page, things really get, we really hit like a sweet spot and things are good and I can help my friends and I can be confident and do stuff. But other times I can sort of be like a bumblebutt or like not a great warrior. Like my dad and brothers. So like, is that what you mean? Or are you saying like I need to jive better with other Golzog to be a monarch?
John just kind of looks at you and goes, I mean, I think maybe. The truth is that I didn't know really much about other Golzog or anything like that. I just knew that you were, when people are missing something that they might need to become whole, and when that happens, they might awaken a power that is like that. But yeah, it honestly, and he like looks at Michael, and Michael kind of like shrugs like a little kid shrugging, like, yeah, it seems like you might have figured it out on your own. Like that seems very accurate of what you might have to do. I was also just knowing that like knowing that you are just very powerful and strong, and as someone who to be honest with you, Golzog, part of me thinks that it's kind of like a reward to you, and in some ways like an apology to you, for putting you in a dungeon.
Look, I appreciate that, but getting home to my family would be reward enough. I don't know if I'm cut out to be a monarch. I mean, like, let's focus on the task at hand anyway. We gotta.
Golzog, I think you'd be a great monarch.
Thanks, buddy.
Especially
I'd vote
after
for
saying, I'd vote for you too.
What's
Should we have a
voting?
campaign to have people vote for Golzog? Would that make him a monarch?
John just like, oh, no. Don't. And he's like, I understand what you are saying. It's interesting. The main thing is this. I've been in this city quite a long time. I understand how things work here. Elections? You understand how frustrating just living with people day to day in this world has been, correct? Just like talking with someone and not wanting to get screwed over by a simple sentence, right?
Absolutely.
Think about this. Fae and demon politicians. Do you really want to get into that? Because I'll say this right now. We might make some very powerful enemies soon. We already have. You already have. If you start running for anything in this city, the Six will not be pleased with that.
Oh.
All this to say is that, Golzok, from what I've learned significant times here in this godforsaken plane of existence, is that it really wants to teach you a motherfucking lesson. Excuse my language.
You like me, or like you like anyone who comes?
Any child who comes through here, anyone who feels lost, it wants to teach them a lesson, whether or not you think you should be taught the lesson, whether or not it's the right lesson to be learned. Something, they're trying to teach you something. It's possible that one of the reasons why you are one of the best options for a monarch is simply because you do not believe you're ready to be one.
Oh, go ahead.
He's like, all of my research into you all makes me believe that you all have varying, and kind of like looks at you all have varying degrees of how to put this best, because I am trying to apologize to you. You all have a different level of ego, and some of you, I think, would gladly sit upon a throne and rule over other people.
Who are you talking about?
Like I said, varying levels.
Who, though?
Make an insight check.
Okay, I'm just gonna have to do it from the computer. 11.
11. Okay, he botched. He's been looking directly at Zara the entire time.
I figured.
He did. Every time he says varying levels, he hasn't even looked at you and Marabella even a little.
Oh.
Zara is not even really paying attention. She's like kind of playing with the ring that she has. She hasn't told anyone about, and contemplating whether or not she wants to. Thinking about like, should I just put it on and see what it does?
Also, is it a bracelet on you because you're so little?
She's not that little. It was a ring on.
And the rabbit was pretty
rabbit.
little, right?
Yeah, it was a ring on a rabbit's
That's
finger.
true.
Marty wants more than anything for there to be giant things that are like. On
This morning, I was reminded about The Borrowers, which I haven't thought
Great
about
movie.
that movie in such a long time. And the one cardigan, the cardigan that's held together with a single giant button. I love that movie, and I love weird little people using like forks as spears and stuff.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
God, when are we doing that season? Okay, I'll text George about it.
I think we've already had that in the can for a while, Marty. Spoilers! Oh no!
Have we?
Not in the, like we've discussed it. Okay, anyway.
Okay.
As you're kind of fiddling with the ring, you can see Thicket is still kind of reeling from like the Zara's dead and then not dead moment. But you see, Thicket. I forget. Did you say that you were Zara, or did you just say that she's not dead? I forget.
No, I did. I said I was Zara.
Okay, he just goes. You just hear Thicket right behind you. So, you what's with you looking like a doll?
Like I said, I technically died.
Oh yeah, I always forget about this. Remind me again what happened. And you knew Thicket?
Yeah, I died, and then a warlock was like, "Do you want to die?" And I'm like, I mean, I don't know. And then he was like, "Great, that's enough for me." And then he put me in this body.
You just hear in only your head, you hear, Zara. That feels like an oversimplification of what happened, and kind of not quite understanding of my motivations, but that's fine. That's fine, sure. I could just let you die if you wanted to.
I told you you could let me die.
It's such a bummer that you say that every time. I don't want you to die.
Can I roll an insight check on
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Uh, 22.
22. I mean, ever since this cat has been in your head, it is so hot and cold, the messaging back and forth. But you've pretty much picked up on this. You are slowly starting to realize, and have realized for a long time, that you have the total power in this situation, in this relationship, somehow. And, like, you are easily able to manipulate this entity who is the one granting you power, but you do feel like you have more, at least emotional power over them.
Sweet.
Yep. Sweet. But John and Michael just kind of look at you and go, all right, I clearly have a lot to answer for. Already on my way of making things up to you, I'm aware, but there are truths about this world that I know. I am willing to share any and all of them with you. I will say this. The longer we're here at City Hall, it's probably not great. If you would like, we can go back to one of my offices. Also, knowing what I know about you, I assume you would like to have the place be kind of your domain, or neutral at least. So if you wish, we can go back to David's.
What was that?
David's. We could go back to David's if you wanted to. If you wanted to. I mean, I have very nice penthouses, and but if you wanted to go back to David's, that's fine.
Above the table, guys? I kind of want to go to a penthouse.
Let's go. Let's go to the penthouse.
Is that weird?
Penthouse?
No.
Excuse me.
All right. Wonderful. Circle up, everyone. And he just kind of takes his cane, which you now realize is just a full umbrella. It's just a very lovely, detailed umbrella as he kind of walks over. All right, we have 1, 2, 3. Is your friend the Oracle? And he points to Tamaral. Are you coming with us? She's you know who I? Oh right, you know who I am. It's my business to know basically everyone in the city. Yes, and I definitely
why
know
not?
all of the oracles here. All right. Me, Michael. All right. Okay, everyone, grab hands. Do you all grab hands with each other?
I put the ring on.
You put the ring on?
Yeah.
Okay. This is basically like it's not. Wait, let me see if it's attunement. No. You just, there's this moment where you just kind of feel yourself have like a wave of magic come over you. And you know it's magic, you can feel it's magic, but deeply inside of you, you're not really afraid of most things. Like at all. But you find yourself instantly afraid of nothing. Afraid of absolutely nothing. Basically what's happening is that you have heroism just like always on you. Heroism makes you immune to being frightened. And you gain 10 hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier at the start of each of your turns.
My spellcasting ability modifier is -1.
Oh, well, I mean, if you don't want it.
Yeah. I mean, like, well, if you don't want this thing, you...
Other people in your party cast spells.
Look, I didn't, but yeah, you find yourself like any like inkling of fear about anything that you had before, you are immediately like brave, you're fine.
It's +1.
Make an Arcana check for me.
Me?
As you put the
The
ring
thing
on.
was equal to her modifier +1 or -1?
No, just
or
equal.
how-
Gains temporary hit points equal to your spellcasting ability modifier.
Oh, got it. It wasn't with. Okay, cool.
12?
12. That's all.
No, no.
What do you mean no? That's D&D. You rolled. I gave you an answer to what you rolled for.
I want to
We
know.
can figure it out later.
You're a rabbit
Well, yeah,
now.
I'm gonna figure it out later.
What do you mean no?
No.
But
That wasn't no like no to you. That was
No,
no
I
to
know.
like no.
What do you all grab hands?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm holding hands with people.
Yeah.
You
Wait,
see,
what about the brothers Dumar? Are they going to grab hands? Or are they going to stick around?
the brothers Dumar? You see both grab each other's hands, but away from you all.
Do they say, how do you do?
You don't hear it, as you are instantly tap of the umbrella teleported away.
Remember, you're undercover.
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage
Okay.
right now.
Quick.
Oh, it's gonna be bad. 4.
Great. You find yourself instantly teleported, and you find yourself at the top of what you could only imagine based off like what you're looking out at, with these large windows, like stained glass, colorful windows. But you look out, and you see this balcony next to you. You're back at the Skyrise, the like
Cool.
entrance hotel, but you're at the penthouse, and the Skyrise is like huge. It is like, it is incomprehensibly tall. It's one of those very like Waverly Towers. It's like 100 stories tall, kind of winding up and up and up as you go up, and you are at the top of it, looking out amongst the sky, out at the whole of Fable Rise. And see John, instantly Thicket and Michael kind of go and they sit down at a table with a bowl of just like full of candy. John goes to behind around a table, just like a nice dining room table, in this impeccably decorated, like well decorated, lovely, in a style that is very similar in some ways to your, like to anyone who grew up in like the cities of Baldur's Gate, around there. It is like a very lovely, elevated version of this kind of architecture, but there is something different to it. Like it doesn't come exactly from this world. For us here, it looks like a very lovely like drawing room from England. Like it is very clearly decorated to be more of like a modern human world that is not in the fantasy realm. But there's this lovely dining room table. He goes to sit at the head of it and says, please have a seat if you wish, of course. There's candy over in the bowl by Thicket and Michael, of course. If you need anything to eat, let me know. But I'm here to answer any of your questions. Again, as an apology, I understand that you never met me, the man, and I'm happy that you didn't at that point, but I know that you have met me through my organization's actions, and I, once again, cannot apologize enough for that. This place makes people a little crazy, and I lost sight. As I said, I lost sight of things. But anyway, sit down and let us continue to talk. And also, you see that like 2 of the men that were with you that also teleported along also has the white, and the white is just kind of like sat down, not like still chain tied up, but just kind of sat down at the table as well.
Goes off gonna try a piece of candy.
You're trying a piece of candy? Okay.
Yep.
It tastes what would candy, what would like Golzog's favorite flavor of candy be?
We're talking about candy. There's not a lot of candy in the Broken Spine Canyon.
Right.
But
So
I
what
would
is he
say
expecting to taste?
I imagine he's probably been exposed to candy since arriving in the Feywild. So either something like that, or the closest thing to candy in the Broken Spine Canyon is a great, not completely poisonous berry that's like really nice and sweet that grows on some like brambly bushes where he's from.
The first candy, like you taste it, and you taste almost exactly like those berries in the bramble.
Do I feel the slight lightheadedness that comes with the being slightly poisoned?
No, you don't, actually. There's nothing about that that's happening.
Oh, this is great. I don't even feel like the effects of any poison.
You just see Thicket. Well, yeah, Golzog, it's candy, but did you think it might be poisoned?
I thought they might have been hulaka berries from the Broken Spine Canyon. Like the flavor-wise, I associate that as much as I can with candy.
It is a wise monarch to assume that he might be attacked via food. So
no!
It is clearly your latent monarch abilities and instincts coming through.
No, the berries from my homeland are slightly poisonous, and you sort of take your life in your own hands when you eat them. You can't eat too much, but your head sort of swims, and you get like a spinny feeling when you eat them. Kinda like getting drunk, but sometimes with diarrhea. But they taste great.
Thicket just kind of throws the dagger that only ever hits with the hilt forward, like down at the ground. Sounds pretty hardcore. Good for you,
it's
Golzog.
just the fruit that's available to my people.
Yeah, and he like tried to throw it down at the ground, and it goes hilt forward and then just bounces almost like a rubber knife for a second around. He's like and like kind of fumbles for it.
Golzog looks over at Zara sort of like with a look of like, really? You gave him that? Also, it's new in my memory that you would be mean to him. Like, I have no memory of your relationship with him.
It's not. No, that's above the table. Defending
Yeah.
like.
All right. All right. Do you have any questions for me? And if not, then we can discuss our game plan and what we should do with this one. Kind of like gestures to the kind of like at this point kind of like dozed out of it white rabbit who's just kind of unconscious, not dying, but just kind of laying there, like slumped over in the chair.
We've already done an insight check on him to discover his motivations, but can I just do detect magic on this room?
Mm-hmm.
Also, when we leveled up, do we have like full HP in our spell slots?
Yeah, I level up in the way of like a video game where you just kind of go
Yeah, it's
like
like
bing,
Final
and then it all refreshes.
That is so cool. I did not know that. I forgot that again.
I think I also still have that plant that like loses leaves or whatever when to detect
the
lies.
rose. Yeah, if you have the rose out. Yeah.
I have that if we want to try and see to use it on the white.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think I also prepped Zone of Truth if we really wanted to like.
I could stare at his chair for a long time and he could fall over.
That is
He's my
That's
monocle.
true. That's true.
We also determined that his enemy is also the Queen of Glass. and he wants
Who,
to take the Queen
the
of Glass
white
down.
or the
John.
John? Yeah, I mean that's what he said, and Michael was there, and for the most part, it seemed like he was genuinely embarrassed and was discussing the way he already described it was that basically he was going on like a warpath to destroy all of Brismere, like just completely destroy it, raze it to the ground.
Got it.
With like no real care for anyone else. Now he is like, with the memory of his brother coming back and his sister being alive, kind of almost broke him out of a fog that he was in, and is remembering that like
Right.
there is an alternate path.
Can you tell me if there are any? Can you tell me what you know about the Queen of Glass, and who among the council might be her servants, apart from the brothers Dumar?
Right. First off, the brothers Dumas. I don't think they know even what side they're on at all. They just do things. It's very easy to manipulate them, and it's very easy to get them to do things, because as long as you kind of convince them that they're doing it, but that it's a secret, they were clearly put in power so that nothing would change. Every action they impart on someone, or for someone, gets almost instantly negated by another action they do.
Sure.
But you asked more about the Queen of Glass.
The Queen of Glass, and if there are any servants of hers that we know of in the among the finders, or anyone else in the city.
Well, I guess we are in the end game. I was trying to keep a stranglehold on the city until I could use it against the Queen of Glass, against the youth. But it's clearly not happening. I did not account for you all to come here, and that was beyond my foreseeing. The Queen of Glass. Here's what I know and what I've learned. This is from speaking with many oracles, the Weaver, looking through old texts, trying to find things. Just learn as much as I can about this world, because it is infuriating to be a part of. The Queen of Glass was like any other monarch of this world at the time, was just a young girl. Like I was a young boy, and like Michael, as you can see, was a very young child. She came here because she lost something, or because the true ruler of this whole place saw fit to fix her in some way, to give her a better life. She came here and she helped save the world, it seemed, and went back home, and life apparently was hell for her when she went back, and she came back here again because the true ruler of this place believed in second chances, and she didn't want to leave ever again. It is my belief, I don't know for certain, but it is my belief that when the three that became the rulers here were all together, that it was Alice, that's her name, her true name, the Queen of Glass, that she convinced the others to go along with her plan. She is an incredibly skilled warrior. She has a dragon-like beast called the Jabberwocky, who is her pet at her side. Does not bring it out that often because there were the rumors that she beheaded it once long ago, but no, she collared it and she tamed it. And she rides it into battle when needs be. The problem with her is this. She's incredibly shrewd, brilliant. She wanted nothing more than to be a hero, to be seen as a hero by everyone. And so, she created a villain. Well, to be fair to her, at least in this one moment, the villain was already there. She just kept that villain alive. The legend of that villain alive. She made it so that she would never die, that she would always be the head of it. She made it so that the cards would forever reshuffle. The deck would always be dealt. She, by her followers, is a hero. And not only that, her followers believe that she is the underdog.
Oh, wait a minute. I feel like we can trust you enough for me to ask you this. Do you know about the two?
Yes, I am aware of the two.
Did you have your own plan to stop the two? Because we got to do that, right?
Yes. To be perfectly frank with you all, up until about a week ago, I was perfectly fine with this city crumbling to the ground. I believed it might have been a miscalculation by her. I believed that it wouldn't have got what she needed out of it, that she would have been seen as a villain. I might have been naive to think so. The problem is that I actually, didn't know who the two was for quite a while. They are very difficult to track down. I only learned about it myself not long ago, about a day ago.
How'd you find out?
To be honest, as I have tried to be, it was because it was a deduction. Because of, questions you asked to Manfred. I asked Manfred what you had been asking him, and Manfred answered and Manfred said that you were very particular about the builder. And since I know this city a little bit better, I kind of instantly knew who he meant. I'm sorry that he ran through every single possible variation on what the builder could have meant. It was very clear one thing, but he was designed by the people in this city, so what do you want to do?
Well, then you're welcome.
And he just kind of, you can see, even without an insight check, you can kind of see that he's like a little ashamed that he didn't figure it out himself, and that it was you who all did, and he's like, yes, thank you.
Hey, it feels like we're kind of on the same side.
We are, and I'm coming to terms with that because I've been very cruel to you. I've been very cruel to a lot of people. I am not proud of myself, but I am very proud of my abilities, and I am proud of certain things I did just because strategically they were brilliant, but they are bad me. And Michael just goes like, they weren't nice. I know. Anyway.
So,
yes. Mm-hmm.
John.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's your plan for the two? Because if the builder's going to blow up the city...
There are multiple ways of seeing this through. There is the idea of trying to find the two, trying to find well, not really just trying to find the two, but maybe trying to find where it has been placed on the city, where the explosion is going to happen. That's difficult to do. We could try to find the two, engage them in battle. It is possible that they have gotten wise to the fact that you figured out who they are in this city, but they have kind of cornered themselves into a way that they are masquerading as one of the most important people in the city, and as such probably can't stop doing that without drawing attention to the fact that...
Wait, where's the actual planner, then? Do we think he's dead?
I assume... I haven't, but of course, maybe that's not the best course of action. Maybe I should be looking for him as well. That is a course of action we could take. The other course of action is just find a way to evacuate or protect the people of this city when it does inevitably fall.
Does he always make a parade float every year?
Well, yes, the parade, the Founders Day parade does happen, and they have floats every single year, yes.
And does the parade route go by some, pretty important places? Like the main government building or something like that?
No, they go through the entire city, really. It starts at the top of the spire, down to the bottom, down back to here at the skyrise.
Tamarel?
Tamarel has also been sitting by the rest of the, the kids, basically. She's sitting next to Thicket and just, trying a piece of candy, just... Oh, yes, right? Hello? What do you need?
Hi. I remember you mentioning something about the builder's parade float, and maybe there's a way for us to check it out beforehand, because that might be it's a bomb on wheels, or I don't know what they use here, wings, whatever, small beetles maybe, I don't know.
It was like, okay, yeah, so that is something that we could do. As I said before, I do have some connections within the city, and not really liking what I'm hearing, but I understand. We could definitely arrange that, of course, to look into where the floats are being built. Only thing is that there may be tough security because it is where they're being built, and in some ways, it might be kind of brilliant, though, actually, now that you say it, that to get into the factory, they've put in a lot of ways to stop you from getting in because they don't want you to sabotage it, but if it's already been sabotaged, then it becomes a really good defense system for a sabotaged float.
Well, I feel like if anyone's got enough pull in the city to see the floats, it might be you, Mr. Darlin. Sir John, man.
You're not wrong. I do have quite a bit of pull. The issue is this. Because of what you've done for my family, and I know you didn't know you were doing it, but inadvertently you reunited me with both of my siblings.
Well, we're gonna reunite you with your sister. We haven't done that yet.
Well, no, she's alive and been reunited with me. She's just not in her body.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. That you have Zara's old halfling body with, you have it? I actually, above the table, did completely miss. I thought that body was out there.
Above the table, she returned.
He's got the body. Okay, great.
He doesn't have a body. She exists in her body and is...
No, he has Wendy in Zara's body, with him. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, gotcha.
He kind of clams up, though, but below the table, he clams up at that question.
Insight check it?
Sure.
Great. Don't worry, it's a 6.
Great. You don't sense anything at all.
Cool.
But because of those things, the truth is this. The Queen of Glass is very powerful. You asked who could be in league with her. The thing is that many people could be. And not only that, she has many magics on her side, many ways to get people into the city, and much sway. She will try to brand you as the enemy. She will try to make you truly enemy number one. We've already stopped one of her attempts, and he points towards the white. That might still happen. A lot of my power and a lot of my sway is going to be in keeping you not enemy number one. I don't know how much further I can push it beyond that. Because the second that you are branded the enemy, the entire city is basically locked off from you. And the second you're branded as the enemy, which is what she wants more than anything, if the bomb goes off or if it's discovered, no matter what, it will be pinned on you. And they will go to war over it.
Well, maybe we should wake up this rabbit and see if he knows anything else.
I think
Is
that's a
there a
great
way to warn the other planners of the city, too? Beforehand?
You mean the other founders? Here's the problem with them. I think the best bet you could get for anyone who would possibly believe you is one of the best, is Humphrey. He is genuinely a noble person, just wants to do right by the city, wants to make sure that everyone is okay. He's broken and bled for this city. Then, of course, there's the brothers Dumas. There's the two disguised as our kobold friend. The true founders of the city, the true people that you have to worry about, are the couple. Bylantine, Mint on the Wind, and Razakar.
Ooh.
Yes, if you did not know, they don't try to... They are lovers. So.
Ooh, spicy.
Ooh, lovers.
The main problem is that they are fools.
Which one's Valentine and who?
Bylantine and
Razakar.
Razakar.
Thank you.
And Razakar is the two, right?
No. Razakar is the devil who made a deal.
Oh,
with...
fuck.
Who made a deal with
That's
Griselda.
right.
Yeah, he was
Ra-
the devil.
Yes.
The kobold one is the two.
And
Kobold is the
Razakar very clearly... Now, you all met him, and I'm pretty sure that Griselda told you all this, but Razakar very clearly wanted, nothing to change. He didn't want any, go to war. He didn't want any of that. He just wanted everything to stay the same. Bylantine is the one who has Tone's taste. She's a high fae. Now,
like high or like hot? She's eating.
probably both. I mean, they're if you're a high fae, why
Fair.
wouldn't you?
Yeah. When in Rome.
The problem with both of them is this: they believe very strongly that they have, with this city, bested the Queen of Glass and her plans. That they have taken themselves out, up, and away from the conflict down below. That they have outsmarted and outpowered her. That with the power of a devil and the power of an archfey, they have matched the equal of the Queen of Glass, a ruler of this area. Trying to convince them anything other than that, because of their egos, that's the main problem. Just trying to get through to them on that level. They think that she can't touch this city because she hasn't in years, hundreds of years. They're wrong. But trying to convince them of that, I genuinely don't have a plan for that because I never tried.
How we find out about the two?
You hit a nat 20 on a you hit a nat 20 on a religion check when you did, I believe it was it wasn't augury, it was one of the other ways that you communicate with your God.
Not divination, not
okay.
that. Because that's when we found out who the two was. How did we find out that the two was even going to blow up Fable Rise?
Right. I mean, that's a long walk back.
And it was a long, long time ago.
You found out through the plans of TM. You found out through the plans of the Tin
Trademark.
Man. Yeah.
Got
you found
it.
out through plans of the Tin Man that there was going to be an event happening on the city. You found out at first, because you still weren't sure who was in charge, that it was going to be like the Queen of Hearts who was doing it, and that they were going to bring down the city.
Right.
But then you learned that that was essentially a false flag, and that is what the Queen of Glass is using.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we have time. I will try my best to keep your names out of suspicion, to keep you off of the wanted lists here. Yes.
What can we do to make our names above any suspicion?
Yeah, above the table, like, can we launch like a week-long propaganda campaign?
We don't have to keep going above the table. Maybe,
Sorry.
but I'm saying that's a thing that you could just ask in character.
Okay, but it's something that I guess this is a little out of character for me. But could we like make ourselves seem super favorable in the public eye, regardless of what actions we've taken?
What can we do to make us super popular?
And you see, John genuinely goes, "That is a very good idea. This town is very superficial. In about a week's time, the Founders Week will begin, all culminating in, at the very end of that week, the Founders Day Parade. Up until that point, there are myriad of competitions. There is the cooking competition. There's fighting in the arena.
No interest.
Golzov likes to paint. I don't know if you have any like painting competitions. Sorry, never mind.
And he just goes like, there's many different competitions. And
Great.
For the most part, the way it's framed is that every year this melting pot of people who have been lost here come here to have a inter-planar competition to see who the best in all the planes are.
It feels like what we need to do is word of our exploits needs to spread like a virus. Like we need to, I don't know if I can coin a term, but like we need to like go viral amongst the citizenry of Fable Rise.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Wouldn't it be better to just like kind of be under the...
Because no matter what, at some point, what John just told us is that at some point the Queen of Glass is going to foist us into the public eye one way or another in a negative light. She's going to try to portray us as an enemy of the people. And if better,
right, keep going.
The better we come off in the public eye prior to that, the more people will stay on our side when that happens.
If our
Who do we know in
reputation
publishing
points
here?
are high enough. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, just who do we know in publishing here? That we could like...
Manfred.
Maybe...
Manfred!
I don't know.
John is kind of like, there is most of the news that comes out, publishing-wise, like I said, part of it is that I am pretty connected to the city. I just have there are limits to my power. I have...
Can I ask you this?
Hmm.
I don't understand a lot about capitalism or bureaucracy, but if I were in the mix for that, I would definitely any journalists or people whose job it is to tell stories to the public, I'd make sure that some of them were in my employ. Do you have like any of those people in your pocket, like journalists?
And John just kind of like was like then you see Michael give him like a very stern, like young kid look of like, it's like, right, it's wrong to be proud of that, right? Right. The answer is yes. Sadly, I do.
Okay, I hate lying, but this also isn't lying. We've actually been trying to help a local business. Could you see to it that like some articles are written about us
You see him just kind of roll his eyes like, you want an article?
It's not why we were doing it.
You want a puff piece about David's? Is that what you want?
Yes!
Yes.
Not just about
That's what we want.
Not
That's
just
what all of us want.
not just a puff piece about David's, but also about the free pastries that Tone is going to give to the poor. Right, Tone? And that, fighting competition that I'm going to win, and the ball we're going to attend.
I think there needs to be
bury
more.
people.
I
What
think
was
there
that?
needs to be more than just a fluff piece. I think we need an article that discredits the Queen of Glass and this
Probably
guy right
a couple
here.
of those. Yeah.
And I point to the white.
We
and
don't.
how
Maybe we don't want to start with that.
No, I
Because
think
people,
no,
we
we-
want people
we
to give a
pepper it
crap
in.
about us.
With the nice stuff about us, and it goes in the middle.
or we could draw her out and kill her.
We're gonna do that either way. That's gonna happen.
You see, like John kind of like starts and like laughs at that. He's like, oh, are you okay?
I'm gonna insight check him.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, insight check him.
Why are my rolls so good? 12.
12. You see, all you can tell is that he clearly doesn't believe that you can just do that. You can very clearly see that.
Ooh.
I have two
also,
questions. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, because she's obsessed with being the hero, right? So once we kind of build up enough of a reputation about us, unrelatedly to us, we could just have an article in there painting her as the villain, and she might get so riled up and angry that it would cause her to like reveal her hand a little bit. At some point, that doesn't have to be immediate. That can be later down the road. But something painting her as the villain seems like we're calling her crazy. She fucking hated that. Do you remember? Someone called her crazy, and she went crazy.
Her little
Is
minion.
this literally what the comment section said? A whisper campaign, but for the greater good. A whisper campaign is like exactly this, right? Is that what a whisper campaign is?
Yes, basically. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Just making sure.
The Yang Yang twins did a very successful whisper campaign in the early 2000s.
Her
I'll
minion
Google that.
literally used the citizens as human shields. I don't think there's I mean,
Wait,
I
do you
have an
want
idea.
to use them as human shields?
She
No.
hates. She hates it when other people are the hero, are a bigger hero than her. Another tactic we could possibly take is I'm sure there's probably a limited amount of articles that this publication could publish every day, but we could have a article about Griselda and being sort of like the new hero of Prismere, and that might turn her attention away from us.
Interesting. And we can have Griselda deal with it.
I mean, I imagine it might be a little, I'm sure she has her attention on us now, but it could help draw attention away from us.
John kind of looks at all. He goes, those are all viable tactics. I can only tell you what I know and what the hurdles might be. You can definitely try. And, while a week may not be a long enough time, you can definitely put that out there. If you can find a way to make you paint yourselves as the hero, that is good. The main thing is this, though. I have so much power because I am unseen, because all of the rulers think that I'm on their side. They, at least some of them, it's hard to tell, this is the one thing I don't know. A lot of them don't seem to want a war. They don't want any conflict, they barely want anything to do with the Queen of Glass. As much as I have the ability to plant stories, if a story leans too much into inciting that, it may be difficult for me to get it through. It's not impossible. Not impossible, but I could. He just means like when he comes to the mentioning the Queen of Glass, that might be a little bit harder to get past.
Yeah.
But
So
also
start
could be
with a
very...
pun.
I think the key here is, and I'm not an expert at this, but like, don't incite anything. All the stuff you do in the articles should just be about how great we are and about how unfavorable this guy and the Queen of Glass are. Like you don't need to suggest anyone do anything or incite anything. Just make it seem as though we're great.
John does go, you know, all of these tactics come with a degree of risk. There's one more that would be incredibly risky, but very high return, I believe.
There's the child saying this?
No, John.
Oh, John. Great, not Michael.
No.
Go on.
You have the dead, severed head of the Queen of Hearts with you.
Oh, yeah!
Do we?
Golzog reaches into the bag of holding and pulls it
like,
out.
it was like... If you could somehow convince this world that you defeated the Queen of Hearts, how else could she react?
She'd hate that.
I mean, I don't love lying. But I also don't love the Queen of
City's
Glass
getting bombed.
getting away with what she's doing. Yeah, and City's getting bombed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just goes, that is very high risk, though, because that could be, even putting that into the news, that's difficult to do, and it would pretty quickly and instantly draw you a lot of attention towards you. It would be hard to keep you out of sight for anything else you would want to do, but it would pretty clearly solidify you as heroes.
Can I speak to the cat?
Sure.
Cat!
In your head, and again, this is only happening in Zara's head, you just hear, "What is it? What do you want from me?"
Why do you sound so frustrated?
You wish I was frustrated. I'm fine.
I'm gonna inside check that. 14?
Yeah, they're frustrated.
I'm gonna be really annoying and just say, "Why are you frustrated? Why are you frustrated? Why are you like over and over and over again?"
Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Disadvantage?
Yes. You're actively antagonizing someone you want help from.
It's pretty annoying. That's so bad. I truly rolled a 2, which is the worst I could do.
Yeah.
So that's a 1 because I have a -1.
Yeah, you just hear you hear like an exasperated sigh, and the cat won't talk to you right now.
Fuck.
I have one other question, if it's okay.
Yeah. You just it's hard. It's also always hard to tell when Zara's doing this, especially now because Zara's just a doll. That like Zara goes like stone faced, but it's impossible to tell that that's different. Like Zara's just sitting there, silent.
She just goes like this, cat. Okay.
What do you have to say?
I want to ask John. Can you tell us what the purpose of having that old man imprisoned in your hotel?
You talking about that guy with one hand?
Yeah, the guy with one hand. Is he useful? Should we attempt to find him?
Ooh, not a bad idea. What's his deal?
And you just see him go like very pale, and Michael kind of comes on over. Well, he was at the time a bad person. He was the villain in our story. Yes. Like I said, when I thought that both of my siblings had perished, I went a little bit, not good, and I wanted revenge on anyone who might have been a reason that it all went to hell.
What did he do?
He just antagonized us as when we were children. He was notorious pirate. To be honest with you, held a grudge against our friend Peter, and I couldn't for the life of you explain why. I can't really explain it on his side or on my friend's side. It just seems like they were almost made to fight each other. It was very odd when you really think about it. Why was this aged pirate man wanting to kill this child boy? I don't quite understand it. None of us could. And at the time when this all went down, I was looking for someone to blame, something to blame. And I still didn't quite understand the machinations of everything else. I was coming to power. He arrived back, pleading with me for help, rambling about how we needed to fix the ship, and I just, kind of threw him in a prison first and asked questions not ever again.
Totally get it.
I believe that he might be of use. I just would rather not see him again, I think.
Okay.
But you do what you must. You already liberated him from the prison. Who knows what he's doing?
Okay. I'm sorry if that was painful to think.
No, it was a fair
about.
question. I did imprison people. I have to answer for that. Anyway. We have some ideas, and I think they're very good. Yes.
No, yeah.
No, I was saying,
I
should
think
we
they are.
should we wake this rabbit up, see what he has to say, and then get on with it?
Is the rabbit asleep now?
Yeah, he's kind of like unconscious, like fading in and out of consciousness.
Fading in and out of sleeping?
Not sleeping, of like, I guess you could say kind of sleeping, but he was like essentially at 0 health, but like stabilized.
Okay. Yeah. Let's torture this rabbit. Uh,
Good God.
I think that's the perfect time.
sorry.
Let's go on break. Let's go on break and think about what you want to ask this rabbit after you torture him, and we do that.
Amazing. I have to
we'll be
see
back.
so bad.
Funny.
Everyone go grab a drink, grab some food. We'll be back to talk to the rabbit and then see what we do for this next week of gameplay. Yeah, go stretch your legs, okay, gang? Be back in a second.
was a big hit.
Words about it.
Mm-hmm.
We are back in John Darling's penthouse. The rabbit is still there. Are you guys all casting anything, doing anything before we talk to the white?
Zone of truth.
Zone of truth. Okay. Do you want everyone in it, or do you just want him in it? Because you can ask people to, like,
Just the
move
rabbit.
out. Okay, yeah, so everyone moves out. You cast Zone of Truth.
And a great choice.
Instant failure from the rabbit. As, like, unconscious, kind of comes to consciousness. Don't kill me, please. Don't do it. Please don't. What do you want?
I made it so you didn't die.
All right. And I'm supposed to just believe you?
Yeah. If I'd wanted you dead, wouldn't you already be dead by now?
Oh no. Please, no. Please don't want me dead. Please.
No, exactly. That's what I'm telling you. Like, we don't, like, there's a reason that you're not dead right now.
I don't
you
know
I mean?
what to think. I don't know what to think.
Shh. Every time you don't answer one of her questions, and you get afraid, or you scramble,
Oh.
we are going to remove one of your fingernails, okay?
Oh my
So
God, Tone!
Don't.
What?
So let's, you only have 10 finger. I assume, do rabbits have more than 10?
You look over and you see
Nails?
Thicket just being like,
I don't want to wink. I struggle against the urge to wink to Thicket. I don't do it, and I stay in character.
you just see the White Ridge goes, so if I get this straight, I can't be afraid of being, I have to be afraid of being afraid because if I'm afraid you're going to
I slap
punish
him. I slap him.
Make-
I said.
me. Make an
I
attack.
said.
I just want to see how hard you slap him.
It's gonna be a D20, and then wait. Do I have it? What is it? An unarmed? I don't
It's
have
strength.
unarmed attack.
It's straight.
It's just strength.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'd never do this. Okay, strength. Here we go. 18.
18. Tone slaps the shit out of the White. Just
I didn't ask a question. You just respond to her or anyone else's questions here and answer truthfully.
This is
Okay.
so messed up.
okay.
Remember the other time we interrogated it too and John started removing teeth? Wasn't that you?
I think I think I was actually against the interrogation.
At first,
But
this, and
at
then there was
first-
Of the
a
car.
This is
point
all,
that
so
happened.
this is all about Tone's descent into evil, and so yeah, this is
Yeah, Tone.
because you're not even resisting now.
When
Before
you-
you're
when
like, no, let's not, and then you're pulling teeth out.
I'm diving
But this one-
right in.
when you really
Mhm.
look at Tone's arc, Tone was like, I can't taste. I'm a cook, and then it's just like, I don't care if my father lives or dies, and I will torture anyone to get the information that I need.
To get the information I need. Exactly. So, okay, Marabella, ask your question again. And remember, White, you only have 10 fingernails. And then I take out my dad's big knife, and I just start, like, picking my own nails with it.
Make an intimidation check with advantage.
Jesus.
God, you psycho.
Clearly, I
Joe.
played the wrong type of character. Okay.
No, it's just character development.
It's character development.
It doesn't. You
You're
don't
right.
have to. You don't have to become better.
15.
15. Okay. The White just kind of just clearly shuts up, but you can see that the White is shaking like a rabbit, but it's just fully shaking. Just-
So, what's the two's plan?
The two was sent here to blow up the city. I don't know exactly the two's plan. I don't. because the two operates on its own set of rules, and it's very terrifying, and I have...
Do you have the authority to call the two off?
I don't believe so. I don't think that the two has ever once listened to me. They take their orders directly from the Queen.
It has to be directly from her?
I believe so.
Okay, well, that was my question, guys. Continue, Marabella.
Who does know the two's plan exactly? Besides the two.
And besides the queen.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know the plan, and the Queen of Hearts didn't know the plan, and I think it might just be the two and the Queen of Glass. The fact that I even know that there's a plan is very high up information. They would want to have kept it as silent as possible so that no one could ever accuse her.
They'd want it kept as silent as possible? What was
They wouldn't want it to be... They wouldn't want as many people to know about it that needed to know, because if anyone else knew, it could leak out.
Oh, I see. Where is the Queen of Glass?
She's in the House of Glass. House of Glass is at the northern end of thither. It is the House of Glass is a castle, glass castle that is surrounded by lots of lovely villages and towns, small settlements of fey creatures and different people who were lost and were found by her.
And what is her plan for after the explosion?
I'm being very honest with you. I don't know whether to be more afraid of you or the Queen of Glass.
Golzog just
right
looks
now you
at
should
the
be
white.
afraid of...
Golzog
Go
just
ahead.
gets up to the white and goes.
I love that didn't register on your mic.
it completely didn't register on the mic.
Sorry, I fully screamed.
I get that. Make an intimidation check.
I'm also gonna throw needle and thread next to his
Jesus,
head.
Yeah. Are there any cameras in here? I
Talk about
just want to make
advantage.
sure.
That's a 21 for intimidation.
What am I rolling? Am I rolling an attack?
No. You just gave. Sure, roll an attack.
Okay. 21.
21. It both happened, and you just. She wants to. She wants to take over. She wants. Once everyone in Phalorize is down here, she'll have more followers. And then she'll go to war. She'll try to invade. Oh, she'll try to invade the Palace of Heart's Desire and kill the sleeping queen once and for all.
Golzog turns to John.
Castle of Heart's Desire.
Castle of Heart's Desire.
And he kind of looks a little shaken by just he's like almost you can see that he's happy that he has now sided with you all, instead of whatever's happening here. And he's yes, the Palace of Heart's Desire. That is, I know it's very confusing. He's like, I fucking hate the Feywild. Excuse my language. That's where it's obscured by the mist. Only with the power of the three monarchs could you even hope to visit it. It's where the queen slumbers. Actually, the key to getting the key to getting into the Palace of Heart's Desire, where the real queen slumbers. Not the Queen of Glass, but I mean Zabilna, the queen who actually made this place. Mm-hmm. You need to destroy the wall of mist, find a way in. The only way that I know that you could get in is getting an alicorn's horn, but that's nearly impossible. The quest
we have
to get
one.
what? What do you mean you have one?
An alicorn's horn.
We have
What do you mean you have one? What?
Like one gave us its horn.
One gave you the horn, and you can
Mhm.
even see the white rabbit goes, "You were given one?"
Mm-hmm.
What, like it's hard or something?
Yes, thank you. I was just thinking that. Fucking amazing.
And you
What?
just-
Like it's hard?
And you just see both John and the white, like, in tandem just go, "Yes! It's very difficult. It's... People have been looking for the alicorn for years. People thought that you had to find the alicorn and then slaughter it to get its horn. What do you mean it just gave you one?"
We find one. We find one and it gave us one. We find one and it gave us one. But that's our business.
You just see like the white just goes, "Then she'll definitely want you dead. She'll definitely want you dead. She'll want that alicorn's horn more than anything."
Hey,
Well, she
hey,
already wants us dead.
hey, shh, look at me. Look at me.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
Now I want you to answer this one very clearly, and I have my knife underneath one of its nails, and I say, okay, now
Testicles.
listen.
Okay.
I want you to answer me very quickly, because I don't know how they do things here in the Feywild, but rabbits don't talk where I'm from. We just put them in stew. So,
Jesus Christ.
Jesus fucking Christ, John.
so there's
Keep his foot, though.
there's
Keep his
no
foot.
rabbitkin where I'm from. That's so. Here's my question.
It's so funny that a turtle saying this.
I don't know what you're talking about. Nobody eats turtles. And I say, is there another secret passage into the city that you or the Queen of Glass uses? And if so, where is it?
Oh, shoot.
Make an intimidation check with advantage.
My guidance him.
Because again, he doesn't have to speak. He just has to speak truth when he speaks. So, we'll see.
I pat Tone on the shell.
Was that 1d4?
Yeah.
1d4.
All right.
1d4.
D4.
And advantage.
15
Damn.
with the D4 plus 3. I mean,
Wow.
that's because of your plus. It was going to be 12.
Dang. Okay, that's good.
There's a teleportation circle into this city. It sits close to the Weaver's den, right near the familiar patch. That's
Is there
how we
anyone
Well-
got?
That's how we get up here.
Is there anyone guarding it, or
It is not known by many. I believe the Weaver knows, but doesn't seem to do anything about it. It is unguarded.
okay?
It is just
That was-
it is just a circle in, not out.
Mm.
Okay.
John,
Hmm. And he just goes like, "Yes, yes."
do you know where that is?
I'm ashamed to say that I didn't know that existed, but I know the area.
Because if you've got a lot of people that work for you, you could, like, post a couple of sentries there or something, or, like, something that to let us know.
You're right.
Assuming that's fine, obviously. I don't want to overstep.
No, he goes like, no, it's a very good idea. The issue is, the only issue is just, the Weaver is, if the Weaver is close to it, it could draw attention, is all. It just depends on how much we want to draw attention to things happening in the city. If we want to be more covert and act like we don't know it exists, then wonderful, but if we want to be clear that we know it exists, we'll have to do some poking around. It's also fascinating. Well, not really. The Weaver is in some ways neutral on things, so it makes sense that they wouldn't care about this, but that must mean that they have seen things come into the city multiple times. It's something to think about and look about. Again, I didn't know this existed, and I am so mad about that. Genuinely, and he's like, I'm genuinely very mad about that. The white just kind of is sitting there, just like, please, if you're going to kill me, at least, if you're going to kill me, let me at least give you a message to send back. Just leave
What,
you
to
with him.
Agadon?
You know my son?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know him.
Right. I saw you with Iris. Just, if you kill me, just tell him I'm sorry. Tell him I was a fool.
Hang on.
Brave fool.
You're under zone of truth right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sorry?
He couldn't say I'm sorry if
He
it
couldn't
wasn't.
say that. Yeah.
No,
well, I mean, he
he's
could
saying
technically
tell him I'm
his own
sorry
Yeah, no, it's fair.
about what you did, not about getting caught by us.
He just was like, yeah, yes. I'm thinking clearly. Yes, I'm sorry. I thought I was doing the right thing. Part of me thinks maybe I still am, but I'm sorry that I failed him and that I'm such a coward. I'm very sorry.
Okay,
Why
well,
did
tell
you
him.
leave him?
I didn't leave him. He left. He left. And
What? Oh, your son left you.
He left. And I don't blame him. But I thought that I was, I long ago that the Queen of Hearts was a tyrant, and this is the Queen of Glass. She liberated me, and I felt like I had loyalty to her always and forever, fealty. And she asked me to, because of how fast I am, to go back and forth between places and play the role of the servant of the Queen of Hearts all the time, and I just got lost in it, I think. It's around this time, while you're listening to this, Zara, can you make a charisma saving throw for me?
You're about to be so fucking.
You mean my
nerdy.
best stat?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that one.
Out of the cards. 12.
12. You just feel yourself. Like, what's the... What do you think is Zara's most reckless impulse at the moment?
Reckless impulse at the moment.
Yeah, what do you think? Like,
Yes.
what would be like a dumb but brave thing that Zara feels that she's thinking about?
To go wake up Sibilna.
You're thinking about just waking her up.
Yeah, seeing what the Queen of Glass does.
You don't know what that would entail. You don't know what that means. You don't know if it's fully even possible while the monarchs are there, or if they're having a lock on the place. You don't know what threats you would get there, but there is a part of you that now, for some reason, wants to do something bold and reckless. You have an urge to do it. You don't have, I'll say this as a player, you don't have to do it, but that urge is growing in you. That, like, it is something that was just an errant thought in your head, and now it's like the primary idea for you. So that's happened. That's just occurred within you as you're like listening to this. That all of the things that tell you to not do it, none of those arguments come to you. It only seems like a good idea.
I mean, did I ever have those arguments?
Maybe not. But that's just happening internally, but it cuts back to the white. I haven't thought clearly in a long time. But I'm ashamed, and I want to help if I can. But I'm pretty useless in this state. I'm pretty bad at things.
I feel kind of
would you do?
responsible for this guy. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh.
Why is that, John?
Well, I think, Marty, I think it's because in like torture and like torture-y situations, sometimes like the torturer does feel responsible. I think it's like kind of I don't know, it's a weird psychology thing.
When has that in the history of the United States ever happened?
There's a term for this, and I'm going to Google it while we continue.
Wonderful.
Okay, great.
But what were you
what
saying?
would you do? What would you do right now? If you could do anything, go anywhere. Let's say we let you go. What do you do?
I apologize for one moment. I was giggling because it sounded like you were about to say, what do you do with a drunken sailor? It felt like that's what was coming. What would I do? If I was released, completely out of your sight, I'd probably run back and tell her, because I'm scared of her. I'll be honest. I know that that's the wrong answer, but I am scared, and I would have, if left to my own devices, yeah, that's what I'd do.
What could we do to ensure that you help us and don't betray us to her?
Oh, keep me prisoner.
Great. Guys,
And he's like, please just like actually chain me up, because I will run and I will tell her things, and I know that's the wrong thing to do, but I'm a coward. So if you make it so that I request that it's like a nice place to stay, possibly, but if you don't let me
Like
leave,
a cozy kind of bed and breakfast vibe.
I say
No,
we just
not
kill
there.
him.
Oh, we could also, the Darlings have a prison.
what?
Like
What
John
do you-
has a prison.
and it is cozy. It's not great, but it's cozy.
He literally just admitted that if he ever had the chance, he'd go run off and tell on us.
I did
feel like
say
the
that.
only
very
way
true.
to prevent that is to just kill him.
But hang on, he's in his zone of truth. What could we do to ensure that you mentally remain committed to helping us?
I have an argument for keeping him prisoner.
Yep. Well, one, we don't have senseless murder on our hands. But go ahead. What's your argument?
That's number one. And Feywild is always watching. But two, I think he's kind of like an addict. Jonesing for this liquid courage, and it might.
Did you
help
just watch
him,
True
keeping him
Detective
prisoner?
Night Country?
What was that?
Did you just watch True Detective Night Country?
No.
There's a very
but I
similar
have
parallel to.
I've given up coffee and gotten back on coffee many times, and I know that there's a period of.
In True Detective, it's heroin, but similar.
Very
deal.
different. But my point
he could
is,
be evidence to the city planners that the queen is planning to blow it up.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think maybe we should keep him prisoner.
Do you have another shot of? I guess we could do this after a long rest too. We could Zone of Truth him in front of the city planners and do all this.
100%. It's a second level spell. Yes.
We gotta do it without the two present, or we have to immediately restrain the two.
Yeah, no, there's no way. I don't think we wouldn't just magically get a meeting with all of them.
Unless
I don't think that's possible.
Can John do that for us?
Well, we wouldn't want it with all of them,
yeah,
right? I think we want it with only a couple.
Well, here's the thing. They make it a point to try to not meet as often as possible. All together. However, they will be all together a lot this coming, after this week, the Founders Week, they'll be together quite a lot. Having meetings around that time is very difficult. Even I have a hard time. I hold my power by not pushing the boundaries with the Founders.
Makes sense.
But they will be all together at various points. Now, I know for a fact that for the most part, you have kind of kept off their radar, haven't really gone out to try to talk with them. Obviously, you have the brothers Dumar, but again, they are the easiest ones to gain favor with because they aren't really on anyone's side. Because they're stupid. Anyway, but if you could make yourselves popular, they'd want to meet with you, or we could try it by force. They will all be present at the masquerade ball. That's at least one time where we know they will all be in one place together.
And aren't we trying to get popular anyway? Isn't that what our?
Well, that's something that we can talk about. That is, if you want to do that, there is multiple ways of trying. Yes. Here's what I'll say about the white. You found a bottle of liquid courage on him, yes? Because you said something about addiction?
Go ahead, Tone.
Yes.
All right. Yes, I believe I see what's happening here. I've seen it before. It's, the old side effect of Proudmane's work. How often... He just, leans down. How often do you partake in some liquid courage? Every day, there were some times where I had some magic items that would allow me to be brave, but I needed bravery. Yes, okay. Well, the problem with prolonged use of liquid courage is that courage can be confoundingly stupid and reckless. Can warp your mind, makes you run in headfirst without thinking, and sometimes liquid courage allows you to be brave, conquer your fear. Other times, it makes you run into fire. I believe that this one has been, and he just, looks at him honestly. Were you, in the last few years, were you ever not under the influence of one of Proudmane's spells? I was always brave. Right. I think we should, personally, keep him alive, keep him imprisoned. If we can't, and he just says, if we can't keep him in prison for a singular week of time, then we have no shot at fighting the Queen of Glass at all anyway.
Agreed.
Okay. That sounds good to me.
Now, of course, I thank you for thinking of that, because I, straight up, tried to kill you. And I would have done it.
Yeah, we're good now.
Except I missed the shot somehow. I was certain I hit you right in the heart, and it should have killed you, but something happened, which was very odd. And the White's like, all right, I don't know what's going on. It's like, okay,
Again, White, I want to be very clear.
yes.
Sorry, John, but that was because of me. So you're alive because of me.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Also a persuasion. I just want to make sure. Yeah, +0. Okay, just checking. Oh, 18.
18. Okay.
Yeah. Can I guidance myself?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
19.
Okay, he rolled so hilariously low. You just see him, there's a moment where he's like very afraid, hears what you just said, looks up at you and your tiara, and just goes, Yes, I will swear fealty to you, princess.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yes,
Okay.
Cool.
Yes, of course.
Cool
of
and
course.
good.
Of course.
I actually could confidently say I can throw him farther than I trust him. But okay. Do you swear? I don't know. Do I have a sword? What weapons do I have? I have a mace. She holds up her mace. And puts it on his shoulder. Do you swear fealty to me and my allies, promising to never directly bring us harm? She's kind of doing this to her shoulder. She doesn't really know what to do.
John just leans in and goes, Say under your breath, it's a fey deal.
It's a fey deal.
Make a stealth check.
Oh, fuck. Can I guidance myself now?
Yeah, because he nat 20 did stealth check to whisper that to you, so...
Oh, stealth. Okay, it's better than being a paladin. Oh, it's not that good, though. Ah! Wait, did you say with advantage? No, you didn't.
No, but you can
No.
guidance yourself. Okay. What'd you
6.
get? 6,
You have
okay.
inspiration. I
Oh,
don't know if
yeah.
I'm gonna use it on
Oh,
this,
I
but
fucking do have inspiration. Yeah.
Yeah, use
I'm
it.
gonna do it. I never
Do
used
it.
it from the other day either. I don't know if that mattered.
No, it doesn't stack like that.
My paper
Also,
towel
this
got
is
in the
the
way.
same day, right? Oh, but with the level up, I see. What you
Yeah.
11.
11, okay. You see... Let me just roll this. You see the White just goes like, yes, I swear fealty. And you feel like a snap go down, and he goes, oh, you tricked me.
Was that
And-
what it was?
He was like, oh, I was already swearing fealty, but now it's... I can feel it. It's binding. Oh, good. And he goes, oh, good, it's binding. That's better. I would have gone back on it. That's better. I mean it in the moment, but I would have changed sides. I would have. Now I can't. And John just kind of like whispers in your ear, I found that simpler is better here. He was like, that was my whole trick. Simpler was better. He was like, "Oh, good. Good. This is very good. I want," and you can see that he like genuinely wants to be like locked up. He's like, "This is good. I should be not able to move or not able to go back on my word. Okay. Oh, I'm going to live, right? That one isn't going to kill me, and that one isn't going to take my nails off."
At that moment, I recall Needle and Thread, just like right back.
It's just like, You see, there's like a moment where like you just see Thicket go like just jumps when you recall it, just like goes like.
No, you won't. But I do think we're still going to keep you in a room for about a week.
I mean, you said yourself, like, that's what you would do.
Well, also, I think you've been very sick for a very long time, and we've got to get whatever was in your system out of your system.
Sure. Yes, good.
Lots of food and water, obviously. Oh, hold up. Did I prep that?
Hold up.
I didn't prep it.
Well, you have a week if you need it.
I have a week. That's very true.
It's at this point that John's like, "All right, I'll get that ready. Now to the week." And now, does anyone have anything else they want to say to John or to anyone in this room before we kind of move forward?
I have something I want to say to. Oh my God! Why can I never? Smelt the Roses, our friend from Smelt the Roses.
Yes, of course.
Tamarel.
Tamarel. I want to ask Tamarel to do something, but it can probably be in time. It doesn't have to be here, so it's fine.
Okay, cool.
I don't think I do, but I'm sure I'll think of something right after the ship sails.
No. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're going to go into, so essentially all of the like events are going to happen in a week, and we might also do this at the top of like the next session too, like kind of split it. We're going to do downtime now, so there's going to be a week of time before the week of the events start happening. So the week of the events are going to be like the cooking competition, the fight, all that stuff. We're going to take it, I think we're going to go player by player after we ask for like the big first thing, where I ask you individually, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to focus on? We're going to do like different checks, kind of like skill challenges. Kind of straight stealing this from a fun thing that Dimension 20 was doing, where it's like, we're going to roll based off of like what your priority is, and the one that is you're designating as your priority will be a lower DC. Then every other thing will be like a slightly higher DC to see like which one you get to accomplish within the week. And you can try to do as many things as you want, just the DCs will get higher. You can cast spells, tell me what spells you're doing, tell me what other things you're doing to bolster that. And there may be bonuses for that. The first thing we're going to do, and we'll probably have to re-talk about it when Hannah comes back, is we are going to decide what the course of action with the media is, like with the press. So we have a few different ways that we can do this. The lower DC, and this is going to be a group DC, so you're all going to make the same check. You're all going to have advantage based off of John helping you, and there has to be like a group DC that you have to meet, which is not going to be a group 20. It's not going to be like you all have to hit 20. It's going to be something like you have to collectively hit 60 or something like that. You know what I mean? That's how it's going to work. The puff piece about David's easiest one. Like puff piece about David, that like you guys are just helping local businesses and are just generally good people. Easiest one to do. Because you kind of have, and if any ones that you think about, we'll talk about, because you have a couple of different ones. You have the most challenging one, which is like you are the heroes and saviors of this place. Like you have killed the Queen of Hearts and you are the savior. Actually, the most difficult DC is trying to turn people against the Queen of Glass, like trying to plant a story that's like the Queen of Glass is bad. That's like if you want to go for it, it changes like everything, but it's incredibly difficult.
And if we go for it and fail, what does that happen? But like, what does that do?
Essentially, it means that like the story falls flat, and potentially, depending on how risky it was, it may negatively impact how people look at you. So it won't be a thing of like, hey, if you do, it's like, oh, you tried to do this, but you got a lower DC. Now it's the puff piece. It's like, no, if you try for it, the thing gets published, but it's like, what happens? So I don't know how much you heard. I think, Hannah, you heard all of that, basically? Yeah. So it's going to be, like, each one of you will do, like, a persuasion check, potentially, or some other kind of check. You can, if you can justify doing a different check with an action, you will do that one. Of like something that you do to help the story land or something like that. But that's the big overarching theme of the week. So it's up to you all what you want to decide on.
Okay.
We have of like the different areas you wanted to go down, which was like puff piece about David's easiest DC for you all to hit collectively. We had obviously we had the become heroes, like paint yourself as heroes. We had the try to do a hit piece on the Queen of Glass. I think there was another one that you guys discussed, like another path with the media, that you might have thought it was collective thing, but it's like, no, it's really more like one.
Trying to do like smear campaign.
Yeah, smear campaign
not involving us, which is obviously very hard.
Smear campaign at the Queen of Glass level is the hardest one to do. The second hardest is going to be painting yourself as pure heroes. The easiest is like the puff piece. Then I think like the medium one is trying to like bolster your exploits. Like you all haven't won anything yet. You haven't done the competitions, but you can just make yourself not just a puff piece about David's, but like, hey, look at these like almost like expose on these like new people who are like out there and like doing a business venture, kind of putting yourself more forward.
Yeah.
And we can only pick one. Is that right?
Yeah, you can only pick one. That's
we
going
could
to be
do
that's going to be like
one of those options right now is what we're trying to.
You get one of those options, and then we'll do the rest of the week where you like get to do a bunch of other stuff. But since that's like main one of the main things you want to do, each of them come with benefits and different risks, right? It's like if you hit it, then you'll get different benefits. You know, if you're able to make it so that the Queen of Glass is already starting to be hated by the time like the parade happens, very different. There's also the possibility of like putting that there's a threat to the city in the paper as well. That's probably one of the ones that would be probably like right below.
Oh yeah.
That would probably be like right below painting yourselves as like the heroes of the city.
Can we do multiple ones?
I mean, you can try to do multiple ones, sure.
Can we do that one and then do the Queen of Glass one, and if we fail the Queen of Glass one, that one is still in the paper?
Well, I'll say this, is that, like, to do multiple stories would probably be almost overkill. You only have a week to do this.
Sure.
Right.
You would probably do multiple stories. The thing is, though, is that if you get one and fail another, the negative stuff that happens from the one you fail will still be negative. Like, and depending on what's happening, like, I'll say this. Say that there's, like, a threat to the city, but then also you try to do like the discredit the Queen of Glass, and you fail, it may make your original story that you succeeded look worse. Like it may make that seem like, oh, they tried to overreach, and then that original story doesn't seem as valid.
Yeah.
Suggestion. And it has to be either a persuasion check, you said, or if we could argue using
if you can
check.
Argue using a resource, using a conversation you have with someone, you essentially role play out something with me, tell me what skill you want to try. Again, you have advantage on the roll, all of you, because John is helping with this. And again, it's not like each of you have to hit 20. It's kind of like some of you might be able to hit higher numbers, and that bolsters you all up. Yeah.
Right. None of us are very good at charisma, right, gang?
No, we're not.
But I'm wondering if before we publish this, can I spend like a day or two stealthing around and eavesdropping around like the citizens of...
That's...
Oh my god, why am I...
Favorize.
And sort of seeing what the kind of like baseline...
Like taking the temperature?
Do a vibe check.
Yeah.
Vibe check.
I mean, I could say that could be your role if you wanted it to be the role this is like that would be your role for this. But
Yeah.
I think
Instead of persuasion.
but I think you have to all kind of. I know it's rough, but this is the fun of the challenge. You all kind of have to decide on what your angle is now
Yeah.
before you
Okay.
start doing it. You know.
I think we maybe
vote...
try. Oh, go.
No, you go.
I think we can try for 2. We can have one of them be the David's puff piece because either or, we got to get our boy in there.
You're
And
right.
2, we try a spicier one. I don't know. Honestly, I just don't know about the like smear campaign for the Queen of Glass as much as I love that idea. It
I was
feels
gonna-
I
like
don't either.
I was gonna say we either go full smear campaign and that's the only one we do, or we go for 2 smaller ones and abandon that one.
I vote doing the puff piece with David's because I think we can probably argue doing something other than persuasion for like, I don't know, something about, you know, maybe,
Oh my God, Raiders!
maybe maybe we get photos of us like, how, you know, actively,
oh fun.
actively working on it. And then the other, the one I argue for possibly is that we took down the Queen of Hearts, since we have her head.
Yeah.
And we have one of her previous agents that we could gather more information from if we have to.
Yeah, I don't know if there's photos in this world, but there can be a photo or a painting or whatever of us holding up her severed head, like, haha, like, because we had it.
I mean, it's
Right.
we have it.
But is there a chance if we do the smear piece of the Queen of Glass, even if it's not effective with the people, that it makes her angry enough because someone accused her of not being a hero? Do you know what I mean? Like, is there still some consequence that would still be good out of this in terms of just shitting
you know,
on her?
I think it'll depend on how much you fail it by.
Okay.
If you fail it, but it's like not by much, then like there might be a thing. I mean, I'll say this: she's probably going to be angry anyway. But
Right.
you know,
I forgot about the Queen of Glass thing, the Queen of Hearts thing. I think because we have her head, we should do that in the puff piece. I'm on board with that.
I'm cool with that too.
okay.
Is Jasmine?
And then I guess, by the way, Dylan, for the week, are we also talking about attending the ball, competing in the fight?
That's a different
competition?
week.
That's different stuff.
This is the week leading up to that week. You have
Okay, cool.
So like the week of the so essentially imagine it's Monday. Next Monday is the start of the week of festivities. This is your week to prepare. The first thing we're doing is the media thing, just to kind of know how it affects how everyone else is going to be treating you during this time, basically. So it may make things harder or easier for you when you're doing your preparation for everything. So, which one are we?
Should we do puff piece first? Or
Yeah.
try...
I say we do the puff piece.
Puff piece first?
Okay.
Can you remind me? Is David's up in a tree, or are we just like?
There's just
No,
a big
there's
tree
a big tree on the ground.
on the ground of it. Yeah.
It was purely for landscaping purposes, but it
How
is
do we feel about
permitted.
how do we feel about having another tree?
We'd have to get another permit, and let's not do that right now.
Do we have to have a permit per tree?
Probably. We had to get one for the other one.
Well, to be fair, the permit for that tree was the fact that it was like a tree that went to all other places eventually. Like it was a tree that like could connect to other like whole parts of the city, and that was kind of why the permit was needed.
Oh,
Wait, what?
I
It's
was
a
just
special
thinking-
magic
If you remember, the tree that you guys planted wasn't just like, oh, you planted a tree, you need a permit for it. You guys specifically asked for a tree that could grow large enough and go everywhere that would allow technically David to be on his grounds but still travel around the city. That is what you all
I
asked
don't
for,
remember that
and that is what the permit was
all.
actually for. It wasn't just because you had a tree. It was because
so
it was
funny.
like a zoning nightmare. Is because
I
that's what you asked
couldn't
for.
remember that less. I couldn't remember
Well-
that less than I do right now.
I was wondering if like I could use my wooden feather token on the
Yes.
grounds to beautify it more and have another tree next to it
Yeah.
as a part of the puff piece and might give us a bonus to our roll.
What would you like, since you're doing that, would you like it to be like a nature check, arcana check?
Arcana, please.
Okay, arcana for you. You get to do arcana. So the David Puff piece is a collective DC. Again, this is very easy to do one. It's a collective DC of 40. All 5 of you just have to collectively add up to 40.
5 of us. Who's the
Okay.
5th?
Well, I mean, no, all 4 of you. All 4 of you, sorry.
Okay.
With your
So
bonus.
we
it's
all have to
it's
roll-
persuasion.
Over 10,
Actually,
ideally.
Sorry, I forgot. This would actually be a DC 35, collectively.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And
Because
you
this
said
one's
we
the
have
easiest one.
advantage. It's
You
a
have advantage.
persuasion.
Well, it's persuasion unless you argue for something different. And you have to narratively justify what's going on.
I'm gonna
This
save
is
my
for the
argument.
puff piece, David.
This is Puff
Yeah,
Piece
this is for
David.
the David's
This is
puff
Puff
piece.
Piece David.
I am gonna guidance myself.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will find a suitable place that's not too close to the other tree, but also have another where it's a nice place for 2 trees.
Oh, I
maybe
just rolled a
create a little-
22.
Can
Yeah.
this be a survival check because we're fighting for our survival?
I did just roll a 22.
Okay,
so
22.
we only need 13 more.
Let me ask you this:
And
Do
don't
we
forget
all
have
have to be
advantage.
rolling the same check?
No,
Could it be
that's
for
what-
Zara?
That's what we're saying.
That's
You
what
can
we're
roll a
saying.
different check.
Is if you can all justify a different check, you can
For
all
Zara, could it
Again,
be a
we are
deception
already
check?
at 22
Horrible.
and
What-
all the
what-
way up there.
do. Marty, what are you saying?
Yeah. I was saying for Zara, I don't know if deception's better for you, Jasmine. Could it
I
be
got
deception
21.
because
Oh, we're there.
Y-
guys.
You don't really
that's
give a fuck
what
about
I'm
David,
saying.
so whatever.
What I'm saying is that yes,
Yeah.
you can all choose a different one. You just have to.
But we're
Uh,
there.
We're already at 22.
I'm gonna
42.
roll
No,
athletics?
42.
dang,
we're,
okay.
we're at 42.
Great.
Tone roll.
Okay,
I,
great.
I
It doesn't
still
matter.
want the rolls. They're important to me.
I'm
Okay.
doing persuasion.
13.
Okay.
Hang on. 16.
16. Okay. Yeah.
That's
So the
What-
puff
what is
piece
that,
will
60?
will resolve what the puff piece is because it's like it depends on also how much above the DC I asked for that you get to will also give
Oh.
benefits. So that is your DC. You're also now doing this is the much harder one, right?
fun.
So the
Mhm.
puff piece is going to land easy. You all kind of knew that was going to happen.
Nice.
You need to collectively hit, because this is the second most difficult one to do. Yes, let me just make sure I have the numbers right on what I wanted to set this at. Forgive me. Yeah. You need to collectively hit a DC 85.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
And is this with hell? Like,
You still have advantage. You still have all of the things. If you can justify your highest thing, you can justify your highest thing. You can all do a different one. Yes, you can do
the
all
severed head helps us at all? Like is this
Yeah,
with
we
the
have
help of the severed
advantage.
head?
of
Yeah.
that. Well, you already have advantage because of the John thing. Again, it's not so much that you have proof. You do have proof. That's all there. It's more, will they believe you?
Cool.
Especially
I
in
would
this,
like
especially
to-
in this world, it is very easy to cast a minor illusion and say you have something. That could easily be turned against you.
Sure. Fair enough.
Can I?
Wait a minute.
do you-
I have a question.
What's up?
Could I assume this check, like, is this Monday, and then after we finish these checks, we can do Tuesday?
This is kind of
Like for the week.
Yeah, this
God,
is
I'm
kind of for the week.
asking
This is kind of,
spell-wise.
Yeah.
So,
but yes, you can use spells.
Marabella, could you
Mm-hmm.
cast Raise Dead on her head? And we
Oh shit. I
kill
do not have
her
a diamond worth at least 500 gold.
live? Oh, okay.
So
Now you choose to pay attention to components.
I asked about this before the stream, Martin.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yes.
By the way, I say that because I don't give a fuck about the components either.
No, I know. It's yeah.
They're
It's like the
important
components don't matter, but they do when it's the like
when
important dead
when they're
ones.
very huge spells. They do matter.
Here's a
Now
question.
that could be something that I try to do this week is get a diamond worth 500.
Can I perform a couple feats of strength at the announcement that we have the head and make an athletics check instead of
Yes,
a persuasion? Great.
yes, you can. You can definitely do that.
I want to I would like to talk to the people that are working at David's because they're from here.
Mm-hmm.
And see what their feelings are on the Queen of Hearts, like what they already know about them, and basically try to get info that will help us in our piece.
Is that
and I would like that to be insight.
Insight check? Okay.
Can I do a stealth check going around Fable Rise, getting a vibe check?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to, on the first day of this week, use a spell in order to get more information on the Queen of Hearts. I want to try to use Dream to dive into the mind, I think, of like, because didn't the White used to work for the Queen of Hearts before the Queen of Glass?
Yeah, so
He would like go between them.
he would go between. I'll say this about Dream. Dream doesn't really go into their thoughts so much as you implant a thing in their thoughts. It's more you shape what the dream is rather than you get to watch their dream.
Could you do dream to the journalist and inception favorable opinions of us?
Or to like a
Yes.
socialite in favor.
Could I?
In
Is that all right?
Fable Rise?
That
Could I
is
make that
a very valid thing. If you what check would you want that to be? Arcana, I'm guessing.
Probably. That's
Okay.
what I would love it to be.
Okay, you all have your checks. Yeah, what's up?
Can I do like try to get some diamonds? I mean, I don't have the money.
Well, again,
to
that
get
might be
them,
that might
but
be a different
Different day.
day.
different
Yeah,
day.
this
What
is
does
just for
a
this
nat
check.
20 do?
Nat 20. What is that total up to?
27.
27. Okay. I won't tell you what it does, but I know. Okay. 27. That's a
Okay.
great start.
I'm
I
gonna
used my
guidance
inspiration
myself.
and I got a 28.
You can guidance yourself. Okay, 28.
I got
Oh,
26.
shoot, I did not.
Okay.
18 plus 8
19.
with
19.
advantage.
Did we do it?
Dang. That is altogether a 100. Altogether, that is a 100.
Exactly.
Exactly a 100.
Go.
Wow.
And since Marty's nat 20 lowered the DC by 5,
Ooh.
you have
Nice job,
succeeded.
Marty.
You succeeded this check, this media check, by over 20, which is a threshold, which means things are going to get interesting. Basically,
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
you all you talk with John. You talk with John Darling, and you decide that you are going to label yourselves, brand yourselves as the heroes, the killers of the Queen of Glass, the end of the war. Not only that, you start
Oh, the end
putting
of the
in,
war. Oh, shit.
like, just because what else would it be?
The killers
war
of the
would be-
Queen of Hearts.
The Queen of
right?
Hearts, yeah. Sorry, the Queen of Hearts. That you got the Queen of Hearts dead, that would be the end of the war. Why else wouldn't it be? That the war down below, which a lot of these people haven't been even looking into that much, is going to be over. not like a lot of people in the city, a lot of people wanted to leave the war and come up to the city. That was like the inception of what a lot of it was. And some of them now are starting to think like with this story, it might be safe down there. The war might be over. The Queen of Glass, still in their minds, because you haven't put a hit piece out on her, like the Queen of Glass still a hero, but you are all the true heroes. Maybe working for her, it doesn't really matter. The point is that you are the ones who did it. You have shown that it has happened, and it's not attributed to her. The dream that you implant, Tone, can you tell me a little bit more about like what you do in this dream?
Okay, so I try to use I want to use a real battle that we all faced. But so I think what I do is I take like the battle with the Scarecrow and I just map it over with like the Queen of Hearts, and instead of the Scarecrow being the Scarecrow is the Queen of Hearts as with the head that we see, and those pumpkins are cards like coming at us and racing after us. So we're fighting her on two fronts.
There is a huge push specifically, and John is telling you, like specifically by Razakar and Bylantine to kill this story. Like for this story to be done. Ousted, because of what it might mean. It's so much about the war. And they want it, and clearly both of them, and it's kind of playing Bylantine's hand too, they want it to stay neutral. This story would have been killed, canceled, destroyed. But this one dogged journalist, this goblin investigator, has that dream and understands how important it is. And so going against the editor, going against everyone, potentially even risking their life, they put this story in, swapping in at the last minute. Yes.
Can I add one just detail to the
Of course
dream?
You can. You guys
So
got 100.
Just
you hit
because
100
it is because it is the Scarecrow fight. We are not only fighting for followers of the show. You may remember this. We're not only fighting these cards and the Queen. We're protecting these children from the Queen and these cards.
Yeah, basically what happens is like there's a full all the president's men thing with this one goblin who is like, I need to get the story out. It doesn't matter that they're not like, I will do whatever it takes. I'm gonna get the story out. It's a full spotlight moment. Like, damn the Catholic Church, we're getting the story out. No one can kill it, even if I have to go down. And so the story goes out.
Could have been us, Razakar! Could have been us!
The story goes out.
Sorry, it's from the movie.
Oh, I know. The goblin author, Genk Humox, it's Genk Humox is their name, puts out the story. There's attempts to, like, even behind the scenes, there are attempts to, okay, the story's out, let's tamp it down. You see, like, you hear reports in the week, and this is happening all over the week, of Humphrey talking about it with his guards, celebrating with his guards, going against, clearly, other two members of the distinction. You see, you start hearing the brothers Dumar subtly take credit for it as well, that they were on the right side of this, that they were never working for the Queen of Hearts, and they were always working for these people at David's, because they are always on the right side. They always play both sides, so they always come out on top. This story starts spreading like wildfire. It starts spreading through the city. With above 100, you start getting the word out down to the ground. You also start putting in details about your time with a rogue card that you fought alongside of, that you knew hated the system, this forever shuffling, this reshuffling, the Great Reshuffling, which also gets put into the story of the Great Reshuffling about how you fought alongside. Not only do you have a disciple, a person who was a revolutionary, someone who followed the way of the ace, Win Marabella, but the blank spade is a part of it. And you also, with 100, you don't put in any smear campaign about the Queen of Glass, but you do put in something about how there is one card that got away that still is potentially a threat to the city. The 2. You're able to get that in with a 100. You're able to get that in. Zara, what you hear around the city at the beginning is that you hear a lot of people who have been feeling like uneasy, unrest. Something just doesn't feel right. The magic of the world hasn't been feeling good, but, you know, everyone is just kind of feeling great with their status quo. But you start hearing a lot of people who either came to this city, like they just came here, were brought here, or they've never seen the actual Feywild, and they have been feeling almost trapped in a gilded cage. Like they always kind of express under hushed breaths that they want to see what the Feywild actually has to offer. Like what is down there? And now that the war might be over, what if we were able to make the city not just in the sky, but all over the place? What if I could have a better living situation? Because in the city I live in kind of like the slums area. Like what if I was able to do it down there on the ground? It seems like a wonderful time. And since, of course, the Queen of Glass is such a benevolent ruler, wouldn't it be great if we could all just go back down, be okay on the ground? And it's all because of these heroes who came in. You start to hear... Also, very important, Zara, and I'll ask you this as the person who did the stealth check. Do you want yourself mentioned? Specifically, do you want you mentioned in the article?
No.
Okay. Everyone else, though, starts to get recognized more often.
Hilarious.
People start to notice you. People start to congratulate you, thank you. Some of them almost, like, not worship, but like almost hero worship you, like kind of fawn over you. In conjunction with the puff piece about David's, they know that the best place to meet you is at David's. Is to stay at David's is the best way to meet you. David's has a lot more people who, even if they own homes, are renting rooms just to maybe stay near you.
This is the real W. Is the business.
This is going to help quite a lot. Yeah, this is going to be very interesting. What happens here?
Hell
the
yeah.
power of the press,
The power
you
of the
guys.
So we also Golzog.
Yeah.
You, because you are like, you used a show of strength. I'm gonna say this. Do you want to enter the fighting ring? Do you feel like that Golzog needs to enter the fighting ring?
Can we say that for the sake of story and to service the character, Golzog is cajoled by his comrades into entering the fighting ring?
So yes, we can say that happened. You all said you have to do this. Like it makes sense.
Player-wise, yes, I want to enter the fighting ring as Golzog.
You enter very publicly as very clearly the brawn of this group. The brawn of the heroes. I'd say that they had you holding up the head, smiling and pointing at it very enthusiastically.
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
You are now the slayer of the Queen of Hearts, who is entering the fighting ring.
Ooh.
Easily, now everyone is wondering under hushed breaths, is this going to be the guy to dethrone the champion? Is he going to dethrone the champion? People aren't even thinking about you fighting the smaller fries. Some people actually start quitting because they don't even want to tussle. I mean, I'll say this. Other stronger people start stepping in because they want a taste of the Queen Slayer.
What are the odds?
Can I give Golzog the ring, the bravery ring, before he goes into the fighting pit?
The fighting pit is going to be in like basically once we're done with all of the stuff happening in the week. So this is just the top of it, but you for sure can, depending on when you wanted to give it to him. Do you want to give it to him like right before he goes in? Or
Oh, literally like right before he steps in, I'm like,
okay, well we haven't, that's going to be its,
yeah,
that's going to be its own session. Trust me, that's a whole session.
Okay, sweet.
Oh my god.
There's a whole thing that's going to happen there.
Okay.
But as we're like, but I'm just kind of narrating. Okay, so, Marabella,
Yes.
you got, because like there's the hush whispers, but you got insight into the people. There are more people who are dissatisfied with the city than initially thought. Like there's like that thin, there's like that ideal of what this city is, but you start to notice that, okay, a lot of these people are just as lost as you are and you have been. A lot of them have lost things themselves and have been stranded here just as much as you are. None of them can go home. They feel very much like, even though when they're in a much better situation than you've seen, obviously, like the rabbits or Agadon's group down there, or the snails, or anyone that or the lost children, clearly other people who are in much worse positions down there, they seem to be just as unhappy and unfulfilled in their life that they've just been stranded here. You get to know the idea of the people. A lot of people say this, very much so, especially to you, once they know who you are and what you do, that they don't want to die here. Like sure. They feel disconnected from their gods, from their family, and people don't want to. Essentially, it's like they don't want to die in a foreign land, right? They want to find a place to like really be. They want to be buried in their own soil, right? They feel like this place doesn't allow for that. And for you, you understand that means like either getting them out of here, or making this place go away. Either with like this place just dispersing, or with how John was describing it, like John Darling describing it as like, fire and bloodshed. But the wish of this place isn't just like, you start to understand that it's not just, oh, the great reshuffling needs to end, or that this place is kind of festering. It's that everyone here, especially in Fable Rise, it's mostly made up of people who got lost here. They all want to leave. Like, not all, but like you get the sense that it was way more than you thought, because the place seemed so perfect at first. And as this all happens over the course of the week, which I think we'll get to next session, we'll go through like the whole, we'll go through each individually, what each person wants to do, because I'm going to steal straight from Dimension 20, which is that we'll go through your priorities, which is like, hey, if this is a priority to you, you'll do a very low DC, kind of like this as well. If it's if it's a high priority, it will be a low DC. It's like the first thing you do, and then we'll go down the list of like other things you try to get done in the week. Like, say if someone wants to try to, I don't know, go on a date with someone's brother, how on that priority list would that be?
How did you know?
But we'll go through like, what do you want to do? Do you want to like talk with your allies within like talk with your allies within the Weavers Guild with Pavel and Gloryhoof? Do you want to like plan something? Do you want to go scout out that teleportation circle? Do you want to go to the talk with the Weaver because you never talked with them? If you want to go shopping, if you want to prepare for the fighting pits, if you want to scout out who is in the fight, if you want to prepare for the cooking competition, that'll be next session, which will be a lot of just kind of roles and like role play on that. I think it's gonna be very fun. But gang, I cannot overstate how important it was, because I'll say this, and of course we didn't go for it, so you're not gonna do it, but like the DC 4, the DC 4, like the highest one was straight up 100, and so you did get to the highest DC that I could have thought of. So you don't smear campaign the queen, but this is big. You are genuinely
still incredible
now over the course of this week, and by the time that you get to Founders Day weekend, you are hugely popular. Also important to know is that when we get into next session, which I don't think will be next week, I think it might be the week after. We'll talk. I think we might be off next week because I think Marty can't be here, so we should.
I cannot. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we may still play without Marty, and we'll just catch up with Gulzog and what he does in the week a different time. But we'll talk in text, and we'll tell you all soon too. But another important thing is that you all start to get messengers from all of the founders really wanting to meet with you.
Ooh!
Shit!
And
We have a hostage for them.
And it's various different messages in various different kinds, and John kind of helps you sort through them of like, Humphrey is just wants to shake your hand kind of guy. The brothers Dumar want to meet with you, but he's like, you don't have to meet with them ever again if you don't want to.
Thank God.
Razakar and Bylantine both send separate, but very, you can even tell in the insight, passive-aggressive notes to you. And you do, in fact, get one from Stinkbug Kobold Paragon, who you know to be the two.
Does it say I killed your mom and have her face?
No.
What?
It's clearly still playing along. But with that, gang, huge roll, huge DC, incredible. What did you all roll? You all rolled so well. I was genuinely worried that it might because the first one you got to 60, and I was like, okay, yeah, that's, and they kind of rolled pretty well, but you got to 60. You guys added 40 on top of that. Do you understand how crazy that is?
And there's only 4 of us.
I know, there's only 4 of you.
I had a minus.
Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah. No, you go.
I had a -1 on my persuasion check, and I have a +12 stealth. So
right.
That's
But you still. I mean, so you rolled a 15, I believe, right?
I rolled a 16 because I got a 28.
Yeah.
And I got a 26 because I got 18
and I
plus 8.
nat 20. I nat 20
nat
with
20.
a +7 to.
So I rolled a 6 and a 4
Mm-hmm.
with my advantage. My bless was a 4, and because it was insight, not bless, sorry, guidance was a 4, and because I had insight, that made it 19. So even though I rolled a 6, my total was 19.
Yeah, I knew you.
Was...
I knew it was possible. Obviously, I knew it was possible. You all had to roll at least kind of high, or because it also could have been a nat 1 would have raised the DC. It's that kind of stuff, and so you never know what would have happened.
I did use my inspiration on it. I had because I didn't.
Yeah, because also you could have rolled the 6. It could have been flipped. You could have rolled the 60 for the one that you needed 85 on, and that would have been very respectable rolls, but just kind of rough, Gang, so proud of you all. Great job, great choices, and yeah. Does anyone have anything they want to plug before we end off this evening?
Yes, I have a couple things. One, thank you, Raiders, for joining us, especially you guys. If you're not aware of what Hero Club does normally, we've got a podcast where we play D&D and we edit it all down to be like a short radio play. So it sounds more like an audio play than an actual full session, but the engine still is very much D&D. You can listen to any of our seasons anywhere you get podcasts, especially our most recent season, Chains of Atlantis, which is a semi-sequel to our previous season, The City of Mirrors. We highly recommend you listen to that. And I will be doing art on this very self-same stream this Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, usually related to either this D&D stream or to seasons from that podcast I mentioned. Come check it out, 4 p.m. on Thursdays.
Well, very succinct, Marty. Thank you.
Thanks.
Anyone else they have anything they want to? Rich? Okay, I'll say this. As I said at the top, thank you so much for being here for my birthday. As it's winding down,
Yay.
I'm 30, and because my players all hung out with me on my birthday, they leveled up last week. But now you all get a free feat. You all get a free feat. Take a feat.
Whoa!
Just go ahead, take a feat.
Wow!
Tell me what
How
you want to
do.
If you took a feat last time and you were like, well, what if I wanted to do raising the stats. Go ahead, raise those.
Whoa.
Wow.
How do you
Wait,
do that?
Are you saying we could just raise stats or take a feat?
Well, I'm saying that if you just took a feat,
Oh, got it. Cool,
you
cool,
can. I'm not that nice.
cool. Okay, cool.
That's pretty nice.
One of the things that you can, so how you can just add a feat to your page is actually one of the easiest things you can do. You just go to feats, scroll like on your page on D&D Beyond, scroll all the way down to manage feats, and you can just add a feat at any time you want.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So happy birthday to me! I made combat
Yay!
harder. Which it will get. Because we're winding down, gang. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. We'll see you when we see you next time. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye.